It's the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot, but if it should be the Baseball Hall of Shame with all the damn cheaters on the ballot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode with my pal Alex and Feisty Pants.
Oh, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Alex's Toy Show. We are talking baseball, Major League Baseball, the Hall of Fame 2017 ballot. Ivan Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, Vlad Guerrero, Mike Cameron, J.D. Drew, Jorge Posada, Maglio Ordonez, Derek Lee, Tim Wakefield, Edgar Renteria, Melvin Mora, Carlos Guillen, Casey Blake, Jason Varitek, Orlando Cabrera, Pat Burrell, Freddie Sanchez, Arthur Rhodes, and Matt Stairs. For a while, Matt Stairs was a guaranteed lock for the postseason because there was a lot of teams where he played, like in his final years, he played on winning teams that went into the postseason. I was like, that's the team to root for. All right. So you wonder, you take a look, these are all the guys that are on the year, on the ballot this year for their first year, their inaugural year. Then you have a bunch of guys left over from previous years. Here are the rules real quick before I go any further. You get to cast 10 votes, up to 10 votes, as a person who votes for, for the people in the Hall of Fame. Players stay on the ballot either 10 years, and you have to maintain a 5% of the vote to stay on the ballot, plus 10 years. So whichever comes first, either you drop below 5%, you're off. 10 years, you don't get elected, you're off. You need 75% of the vote to get into the Hall of Fame. Last year, Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza were the only two that got in. Griffey was unanimous, and Piazza was very, very close. And last year, what sucks is Alan Trammell fell off the ballot. He did not get enough votes to get in, which sucks because, I mean, he's a Hall of Fame kind of guy. I'm really disappointed that he didn't get in. So, going back to that, years on the ballot, Jeff Bagwell, this is his 7th year on the ballot. This is Tim Raines' last year on the ballot. Tim Raines, if you don't know who Tim Raines is, he's the other Ricky Henderson, pretty much. If you look at his numbers, I was watching the big debate on Major League Baseball, MLB Network, and they were saying Tim Raines, he's not Ricky Henderson, but he's got Lou Brock kind of numbers, which says a lot because Lou Brock is a big deal. And they all felt that Raines should get in. Trevor Hoffman, it's his 2nd year on the ballot. Trevor Hoffman, he's a big closer. He's not Mariano Rivera, but, he got in and got the job done. Let's see. Curt Schilling, 5th year on the ballot. Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, both their 5th year on the ballot. Edgar Martinez, his 8th year on the ballot. Mike Mussina, his 4th year. Lee Smith falls under the grandfathered clause where it used to be 15 years on the ballot before they changed it to 10. This is his 15th year and final year also. Fred McGriff, his 8th year on the ballot. Jeff Kent, 4th year. Larry Walker, his 7th year. Gary Sheffield, his 3rd year. Billy Wagner, his 2nd year. And Sammy Sosa, only his 5th year. But Sammy Sosa last year only got 7% of the vote. And that's dangerously close to falling off. Usually, what happens each year over the past couple of years is you lose a little bit of percent of the votes, and you tend to drop a little. So a lot of these guys, Jeff Kent was only 16% of the vote last year. Larry Walker, 15%. Sheffield, 11%. Billy Wagner, 10% of the vote. And Sammy Sosa, 7% of the vote. They each could drop off very easily. Now, a lot of the guys going on the ballot this year for their first year, they're not terrible players, but it's the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of pretty good. So a lot of these guys, I don't even think will make 5%. I honestly, I remember Melvin Mora, I had his Donruss rated rookie, but he was a pretty good middle infielder. Solid defense, not the best offense. Same with Edgar Renteria. Carlos Guillen played some solid ball, I believe for Detroit or the White Sox. I forget which one it was, or maybe both, I'm not sure. I didn't even know who Casey Blake was, honestly. Poor guy. Derek Lee played first base for the Cubs for a long time. But, then there's bigger names. Tim Wakefield. Everybody knows who Tim Wakefield is, but he's not I don't think he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Maglio Ordonez, DH'd and outfielded. J.D. Drew, Mike Cameron. Definitely the guys that you want to talk about. Jorge Posada, Vlad Guerrero, Manny Ramirez, Ivan Rodriguez. Now, Manny Ramirez, for me, is a fuck no. He got caught cheating for steroids. Twice? 3 times? I've lost track. I don't even know. He's absolutely not. I don't know. No, there should be no one voting for him based on the whole steroid scandal. Because there's rumors, there's people who were on the Mitchell Report, there's people named in Jose Canseco's book, and then there's people who actually violated the policy and got caught red fucking handed. Manny Ramirez, you're out. Ivan Rodriguez, I have a big conspiracy theory about the Texas team that Jose Canseco played on for when he wrote his book. Ivan Rodriguez is right in that conspiracy theory, so I don't believe he's getting my vote. Now, a lot of guys on the show, they all casted their votes. Now, some of them will count, some of them may change their votes, and some of them don't count at all. Ken Rosenthal, he voted, I don't know if you can make this out, Bagwell, Bonds, Clemens, Trevor Hoffman, Edgar Martinez, Mussina, Raines, Irod is Ivan Rodriguez, Curt Schilling, and Billy Wagner. All right. Tom Verducci, I like Tom's points a whole lot. So, Tom, 2 thumbs up. The other one's behind the pad. He voted for Jeff Bagwell, Vlad Guerrero, Trevor Hoffman, Jeff Kent, Edgar Martinez, Fred McGriff, Mike Mussina, Tim Raines, and Curt Schilling. Bob Costas. You don't mess with Bob Costas. Here's what he voted for. Jeff Bagwell, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Vlad Guerrero, Trevor Hoffman, Fred McGriff, Tim Raines, Ivan Rodriguez, Curt Schilling, and Larry Walker. Now, Larry Walker, he's no slouch, but for me, he wasn't that Hall of Fame caliber kind of player. Chris Russo, he voted for 4 whole guys. Vlad Guerrero, Edgar Martinez, Jeff Kent, and Curt Schilling. Ron Darling. I actually followed Ron Darling. I had cards of Ron Darling. I'm so excited he's on the team, on the show, MLB Network, the show. He voted for, I'm trying to read at the same time, Jeff Bagwell, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Vlad Guerrero, Trevor Hoffman, Mike Mussina, Tim Raines, Ivan Rodriguez, and Curt Schilling. And Brian Kenny voted Jeff Bagwell, Vlad Guerrero, Trevor Hoffman, Edgar Martinez, Fred McGriff, Jorge Posada, Mike Mussina, Tim Raines, Curt Schilling, and Billy Wagner. Now, after careful consideration, and just flat out F you if I even think you cheated, this is who I voted for. Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, Trevor Hoffman, Curt Schilling, and that was a tough call for Curt Schilling. But he had a lot of good numbers, and I don't feel he had the steroids behind him. Edgar Martinez, Mike Mussina, Lee Smith, Fred McGriff, Billy Wagner, and Jorge Posada. Those are my votes. Right there. Get in front of the steering wheel. There you go. Now, my votes don't count for anything, but that is my opinion. I can't wait to see what happens when they announce the actual people being accepted into the Hall of Fame come Wednesday. It's going to be great. Can't wait to talk more about it. Leave what you think in the comments, folks. I'd love to hear from you if you have an opinion. And, you know, yes, I'm a Yankees guy. Yes, I know all about Jorge Posada. But I do feel he is a championship kind of caliber kind of catcher. I don't think he should be, you know, cast aside. As Chris Russo said, oh, he's a terrible catcher. He's not. He's not terrible. All right, that's all I got, folks.